Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a video, the theme of which is going to be budget collecting or enjoying this hobby without spending a significant amount of coin. I do show nice cards and more expensive cards on the channel on occasion, and I have plenty of those as well after 15 to 20 years being back in the hobby full time. But really my bread and butter, where I'm most comfortable and where I spend the majority of my hobby funds, are on cheaper pickups. I just enjoy the variety. It lets me stay engaged with the hobby more frequently, whereas I have to save for a big card only once every so often. I can buy little sub $10 cards every week without feeling guilty about it or really impacting my budget. And so I have a few sub $10 cards up in the background that I've shown on the channel before, but in today's video we're going to look at some new pickups that I made. Each one of these cards was purchased during the month of May, this past month. It just wrapped up. And in every case, I paid $10 or less for the card that we're going to look at. So anything that you see in today's video is really affordable. And these are the types of cards that I think any collector can comfortably get. And I really do thoroughly enjoy budget cards just as much as more expensive cards. So let's get started. Card that I showed in a recent video was this one, which fell just outside my $10 limit for today's video. But this is the Nippon Professional Baseball single season home run champion, Vladimir Valentin. And he's somebody who I've struck up a new player collection of. And I did a whole video on that a couple videos back if you're interested in checking that out. But that's one of the appeals to me about collecting him. Even though he holds that very significant record, he's not widely collected and his cards are dirt cheap. So to go along with this orange numbered to 25, which I have shown in that video, also picked up recently the blue numbered to 150, blue refractor. And I mentioned it when I showed the orange before, but I just love that I can get this player on the 2021 Topps flagship design, same design that I have, other Mookie Betts and Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani cards of. And now I can add Valentin to that collection. And this blue refractor numbered to 150 was $4 shipped to my door. $4 with free shipping. Throw in, some pocket change for tax. And it was well under $5 to pick up that blue refractor, which goes nice with that blue Mookie up in the background here. A little bit of foreshadowing. Next up, one of my favorite modern baseball parallels that I've tried to collect in recent years, but man, these are tough. And that is Topps Black. These are included in the flagship, just the paper, standard, regular Topps release every year, I think going back to 2003. So this parallel has now been around more than 20 years, and it increments in terms of the print run by one each year. And the one that I have to look at today got this for $10, and it is numbered to 66, being from 2017, and it's the Giancarlo Stanton. And this is a significant card, not just because I love this parallel, but trying to find, creative ways to participate in the cheap on the hobby. And the Topps Black cards, when you can find them, are really, really tough and really, really pricey if you're going after, the big stars in the game, the Mookie Betts, Mike Trouts, Shohei, stuff like that. I am lucky enough to have one or two of those, but I can't be buying those on the regular, and they're not always available, to be honest with you. So thinking outside the box a little bit, I found this one just because this was Mike Stanton, or it used to be Giancarlo Stanton's really big year in his career. And I love cards that represent significant seasons or statistical feats. And back in 2017, for those who don't know or have forgotten over the years, he clubbed 59 home runs en route to his National League MVP with the Marlins, so came just honestly a couple of home runs short of besting Roger Maris, although it was in the NL, 132 RBI or something like that, and won the MVP that year. And because of that, really, really attracted to this card. Now, what's cool about this, this is an example of always add a card that you're interested in to your watch list. Even if it seems like it's priced a little bit high, you just don't know what's going to happen or if you're going to get an offer. The seller had this card up at $35, buy it now, which is way more than I would pay for this card. But there weren't many copies of it out there. Again, Topps Black are tough. Added it to my watch list, and within a couple days, he sent an offer. I think it was like 70 something percent off of the asking price, but essentially it was an offer for $10 flat on a $35 buy it now card. Now it's not worth $35, but the point is, even if a card appears to be overpriced, you don't know how much the seller may be willing to work with you or be motivated to sell. So it doesn't hurt to, throw it on your watch list for a couple days, and if you don't get an offer, fine, you can delete it. No harm, no foul. But you'd be surprised how many times you will hear from a seller with an offer. So happy to add that Topps Black Mike Stanton. And then probably my other favorite modern parallel alongside Black is the Independence Day cards. These began much later, 15 years after Topps Black, but they have a nice run going of their own of about 7 straight years now in the Topps flagship product, always numbered to 76, and picked up this nice Leaders card from 2022 in Independence Day version featuring Vlad Guerrero Jr., Salvador Perez, who's having another amazing year behind the plate, and then, of course, Shohei Ohtani, one of the biggest names in the hobby. Depending on how Guerrero's career pans out, I would say, there is a chance down the line that all three of these guys could become Hall of Famers and could be enshrined. And I think if that comes to pass, that will make this a really cool Leaders card, kind of on the same wavelength as, the ones from the 60s that feature multiple MVPs or all Hall of Famers that people really enjoy quite a bit. So I grabbed this. This was at open auction, and I was the winning bidder on this for $3.25. Now, I know Leaders cards are not as popular as individual players cards. I get it. And I know 2022 isn't, the finest year design-wise of the Independence Day parallel. Wholeheartedly agree with that. But at the same time, $3.25. I mean, you can't get a cheeseburger at McDonald's for about that price now. And for a numbered to 76 card that features, Ohtani and a couple of other superstars, just couldn't pass that up. So even with a few bucks shipping, this one came in at well under my $10 threshold for today's video. I have one hockey card, and then we're going to go back to baseball to close it out. I'm always on the lookout and picking up the occasional hockey card. And I have one of my favorite parallels ever. I talk about it all the time here on the channel. Upper Deck exclusives, which are serial numbered to 100, go all the way back to the late 90s. Now, this card I've had a while. I've never shown it on the channel, and this one was not under $10. This is the 2008 Sidney Crosby UD exclusives numbered to 100. Look at the rainbow foil in the UD exclusives on the right and in the player name here. Just awesome foil work by Upper Deck on these. Great image. The reason I dragged this one out and decided that today was a good time to show it on the channel is because I picked up a counterpart to this card that was under $10 that I got just recently. So from the same set, same year, same parallel, numbered to 100, I got the other half of the equation offensively for Pittsburgh in that era, Evgeny Malkin. And look at that. Again, just the rainbow foil. I love that both of these guys are actually in like a similar pose on a horizontally oriented card. And these just look fantastic teamed up together. Now, while the Crosby was a little bit more expensive, this Malkin, which I've never owned, went up recently. I caught it in a saved search with a 99-cent starting bid, and I was amazed. My snipe on this, or what I would have paid up to, was somewhere around $30. And quite honestly, my opinion was that I was going to lose the auction, even at a $30 price point, because this is a third-year Malkin card from pretty early in his career. And of course, he's won, multiple scoring titles, an MVP, multiple cups, surefire future Hall of Famer. And I kid you not, I was able to win this for $5.50. So again, even factoring in shipping, still met my $10 threshold for this item. Just really, really ecstatic with that. Definitely the best deal that I got on a hockey card in the month of May this past year. So this one had to make the list today. And then I've got 2 baseball cards to close it out. I'm going to take this one out of its protective case here, but I have a Mookie Betts. I hinted at him when we looked at his finest blue refractor in the background there. Have a 2018, another 2018, just like this finest. This is the normal Topps image though, and it's from Topps Chrome, and it's the Prism refractor. Now this is To be fair, this is probably my least favorite refractor or parallel in modern Topps Chrome. It has kind of like that fish scale type effect you can see here in the background. It's not terrible, but these are not serial numbered. They're not particularly desirable, and I don't really love the look of them all that much. However, I am working on a rainbow of the 2018 Mookie Betts. I think it's the best season that he's ever had in his career was 2018. Of course, being a Red Sox fan, I'm biased there, but when you put it all together, I think it's his best season. And I also think this is his best image on any Topps card to date. So those two things combined to make this card an absolute winner in my book. So this is one of the rare cases where I would look for the Prism parallel because I would buy really any version of this card that I don't have already. And this one went up in a PSA 5.9, and I won this. I guess this is cheating a little bit, but my winning bid on this was $10.60. So yeah, it did go 2 quarters and a dime over my $10 threshold for this episode, but I thought it was close enough to include it. Pretty crazy to get that already PSA slabbed for $10, given that it definitely costs more than that to, even bulk submit cards to PSA at this point in time. So pretty pleased. And then we're going to close out with something rare for me, a relic card. Don't buy a lot of these, as some of you may know, but I've grown increasingly fond of them in recent years when it's an important player and a unique relic kind of combined. And I think that's definitely the case on this one. This one I won for $10 with free shipping from probably my favorite relic set in baseball, the 2007 Upper Deck Sweet Spot Classic release. Look at this beautiful early win. And of course, what attracted me to this is the pinstripe. Had this just been a normal, everyday white relic swatch, I would have probably looked the other way or not even clicked on the auction. But seeing this pinstripe and then also looks like some stitching throughout the middle here, just the relic itself on this card has a lot of character. And I just thought, 300 game winner and Hall of Famer with a great pinstripe like that on a relic set that I already have numerous cards from. I've got a Joe DiMaggio and a Lou Gehrig, for example, from this release, both of which have a pinstripe. And so the option to add early win to that small collection for $10 was too good to refuse. And this is going to go into my pile for my next submission to SGC. I do try to slab up the few relics that I have from this release. And they're all currently in SGC slabs. So I'll send early win off here to match up with those. Don't really care what it gets for a grade. It's really just about the presentation of the card and getting it to match the others in the collection. So that's definitely my first and only early win relic that I've ever owned. Not something I was seeking out, specifically, but when I ran across it at the price point that I did, just couldn't pass it up. So a 300 game winner pinstripe to end it today. That's the final card in my cheap $10 or less pickups video for the month of May. Hope you saw something that you enjoyed here. I really appreciate your time, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Till then, enjoy the hobby and take care.